When is enough going to be enough? On this 11th day of fighting, with more babies buried and more hearts bleeding, so many of us want to know, what will it take for it, for us, for the world, for Palestinians and Israelis to really be able to say enough, for the occupation to end, for a new road to be taken, for repair and for healing and for coexistence and for peace. This might sound like a cliche question, but it really is not. That's the only thing that matters right now, is a roadmap towards recovery, towards dignity and justice, towards figuring out a better way. It's going to begin with enough of us truly say, enough. I'm committed to change and to help the change. I'm not a politician. I want to change the world through stories and through presence. And so I want to share a story today that is about enough. A story that comes from the trauma archives of my people. A legend that is about a moment of enough. A story about liberation and revelation, about potential redemption. And I'm sharing it today as it was revealed to me these past few days of revelation on the holiday of Shavuot, with the hope that it will inspire more of us to say enough and to commit to doing more, so more of us can say enough. In Israel and Palestine, all over the world, not in either or and blame, but taking the claim for what we can do, how we can be part of enough. So here's the story. It comes from the Midrash, the Jewish collection of legends. It's at least 1,000 years old. And it begins on the last day of the enslavement in Egypt, where Rachel, a slave, a Hebrew slave, is standing at the brick-making factory, where mud becomes the bricks of oppression. She's at the conveyor belt and she is 9 months pregnant, and like all the others before her, she is not allowed to walk away from the conveyor belt, and so her baby is born right there into the mud and becomes a brick. And in that moment, when life becomes the bricks of oppression, up in the sky, the United Nation Assembly of Angels, representing every nation on earth, is debating the Exodus. Is it legitimate to have the Egyptian firstborns sacrificed so that the Hebrew nation can go free? Is there equivalence? While they're debating, Archangel Michael goes down and picks up that brick that has Rachel's nameless dead baby inside, flies up and shows it to them and says, this is what's going on down there. And immediately public opinion shifts, and immediately the creator presses the green button, and Project Exodus is on its way that night. The full moon, the Passover. Rachel's baby is the last baby to be killed in bondage in Egypt. What happens to the baby? It gets transformed alchemically into the founding cornerstone of God's throne. It is up there in the sky, luminous like the sky, like a sapphire brick, illuminating creation. According to the mystics, further on in the book of Exodus, 50 nights after they leave, they reach Mount Sinai, and Moses and the elders in chapter 22 of Exodus, this alternative version of Revelation, climb up the mountain, and they see God, and they see the throne of glory, and they see that at its very foundation is this luminous blue sapphire brick that is the baby that's been transformed into a memory, that we are sitting in the vulnerability of our weakest link, and we are only as good and as strong as our weakest member, a baby born and dead in bondage. That's what's sitting with God. That's what God is sitting with. And we in divine image, through this horror of a story that is far from perfect, that is full of trauma and has been transmitted from one generation to the other, we are sitting with this baby in our heart. And can we justify the killing of the firstborn in Egypt? And can we stand with all the generations of inflicted trauma this way and that? We're invited to look at the throne and to feel this brick and to commit to the redemption of this traumatic history that's being enacted right now. We are invited to understand that our vulnerability is the invitation for compassion, that only through this understanding that we are all this baby will we be able to have the courage and the compassion to say enough. No more babies buried, not in Gaza and not in Jerusalem, not in Palestine and not in Israel, nowhere in the world. Can we have the patience and the courage to go through the pain and look these stories in the face and remember that it's on us to say, Chalas, Dayenu, enough. Let go of the power, let go of the dream, wake up to co-create a better reality. I hope this story helps more of us feel in the heart the responsibility to do something, to wake up, to be with our sisters and brothers and siblings and friends in Israel and Palestine with compassion and love, committing to change. There must be another way. Chalas, Dayenu, enough. May today bring an easier day and peace for all, one breath at a time.